I'm Ella Duffy, thanks for joining us. Tragic news from the entertainment world. Country music icon and A-list actor Kris Kristofferson has passed away at the age of 88.
Lord, it took me back to something that I lost somehow, somewhere along the way.
Kristofferson was the man behind classic country hits like Sunday Mornin' Comin' Down and Help Me Make It Through the Night. But he balanced that massive music career with a Golden Globe-winning acting career. He was best known for starring alongside Barbra Streisand in A Star Is Born in the 70s. Kristofferson's family confirmed his death, saying it happened while he was surrounded by family and friends at his home in Hawaii on Saturday. No cause of death was shared. Well, joining me now is Chris Bumbray, film critic and managing editor at joblo.com. Chris, let's start with his work in music. Willie Nelson once said there's no better songwriter alive than Kris Kristofferson. What made him stand out and what sort of an impact did he have on the music industry?
I think what probably made him stand out the most was the fact that he came into the industry as a mature person, right? I mean, he didn't really start writing songs until he was in his 30s, which is quite late if you look at the music business. I mean, he had a number of lives before he ever became a country singer. I mean, he was a Rhodes Scholar. He had a PhD in English. He had a degree in English literature. He was a Rhodes Scholar. He actually turned down a job opportunity at West Point to pursue country music. He was a U.S. Captain. He was a captain in the U.S. Army. I mean, he had an amazing career, Kris Kristofferson. I mean, and his country songs, the stuff that he wrote, the songs were so beautiful. You know, Me and Bobby McGee, I think, is the one that sticks out to me as probably his most famous. Unbelievable.
So you spoke about the achievements of Kristofferson before he got into the entertainment industry. He often said that he wouldn't have a career without Johnny Cash, and while working as a helicopter pilot as a side job, he famously borrowed a helicopter and actually flew it to Cash's house to pitch a song. Just talk to us about his persistence, and I suppose, was he a larger-than-life character?
I mean, he certainly was. I mean, that was the thing. That was the thing I think that was so amazing about him. And, you know, he was in a band later on with Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings, the Highwaymen. But, you know, they were part of kind of the outlaw country movement. You know, back in the 70s, there was this real kind of divide between the more polished Nashville sound and then these kind of cool, larger-than-life outlaw guys, you know, like Kristofferson. So they kind of modernized, you know, the industry in that way. But then he also had an amazing career as an actor. I mean, the guy was one of the biggest movie stars of the 1970s. I think he's probably one of the biggest film stars to emerge from music ever, where his movie career actually dwarfed his singing career at certain times. Because I mean, he was, like you said, he starred with Barbra Streisand, A Star Is Born. He was in a bunch of movies. He was in Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. He played Billy the Kid. Convoy, another huge hit. He was in a great movie that was a big flop, actually, called Heaven's Gate, which was kind of infamously set him back about a decade or so. But then he kind of really emerged in the 90s as a character actor. He was great in this movie called Lone Star. And then, you know, people from my age group probably remember him best for playing Whistler in the Blade trilogy. I mean, he was so popular in those films that they killed him off the first one. They brought him back for the sequels.
So it's not rare, but you know, you don't often see someone have such a long career in both music and in film. What do you think it was about him that, you know, made him have such a long career and allowed him to have such a long career? And what's his lasting legacy on both of those industries?
I mean, I think that's a good question. I think that, you know, his intelligence was a big part of it, right? I think he was very well liked. He was very, you know, he was very progressive. He was always with the times. He was never behind the times. He was known for his gentle demeanor. He looked, you know, very, very rugged, you know, on the screen and you know, in his singing, but he was, you know, famously such a well-rounded artist and an intelligent man. And I think that whenever you know, listen to any song that he wrote or watch any performance that he gave, that intelligence kind of radiated through, you know, and I think he was vital right up until just a couple of years ago when he retired. He was admired by pretty much everybody who met him. I know that Ethan Hawke has gone on numerous times about what a huge influence he was on him just as an artist, even though Ethan Hawke's not a musician. Just the fact that, you know, Kristofferson was so uncompromising and was so interested in everything that was going on around him. I think that's what made him endure as long as he did.
It's a huge loss to the music and entertainment industry. We appreciate your insights today, Chris Bumbray, film critic and managing editor at joblo.com. Thank you.
Thank you very much.